Everyone saw a giant, and they decided the story was over. But David didn't see the same thing they saw. He saw a moment where fear was about to be exposed. Some giants don't beat you by strength. They beat you by making you hesitate until hesitation becomes a lifestyle. Two armies stood on opposite hills, staring into the same valley. Israel on one side, the Philistines on the other. And every day a shadow stepped forward. Goliath. He didn't just want a fight, he wanted control. He shouted into the valley and demanded one champion, one man, to represent the whole nation. And Israel froze. Not because they had no soldiers, not because they had no weapons, but because fear convinced them the outcome was already decided. Days passed, the giant kept speaking, and the longer they listened, the smaller they became. That's what intimidation does. It repeats the same message until you accept it as truth. Then David arrives. Not a warrior, not a hero, a shepherd boy bringing supplies to his brothers. He walks into camp and immediately feels it. The quiet panic, the heavy air, the way everyone avoids the valley. Then he hears the giant. And David looks around like, why is everyone acting like this is normal? So he asks a question that cuts through the camp. Who is this man that he should defy the army of the living God? Everyone measured Goliath. David measured God. But the first pushback doesn't come from the giant. It comes from his own brother. Why are you here? Go home. You're just a kid. Because sometimes the enemy isn't the problem in front of you. It's the voices that want you to stay small. David doesn't fight for approval. He doesn't argue. He just keeps moving. David is brought to King Saul. Saul is exhausted, carrying the fear of an entire army. And David says the impossible. I'll fight him. Saul looks at him and sees a boy. You can't. He's trained for war. But David doesn't speak from hype. He speaks from history. He tells Saul about battles nobody saw, lions and bears in the field trying to steal the sheep. And David says, I fought then, and God delivered me. The same God will deliver me now. Here's the lesson. Your public courage is built in private. Saul tries to put his armor on David. Heavy, royal, impressive. David tries to move, and it doesn't fit. Too big, too stiff. Not him. And David realizes something most people miss. The fastest way to lose your fight is trying to fight it in someone else's armor. So he takes it off. Not because he's careless, but because he's clear. David walks to a stream. He kneels down and chooses smooth stones, quietly, carefully, not because stones are magic, but because preparation matters. Faith isn't pretending you don't need a plan. Faith is moving forward with confidence while still doing what's wise. David stands up, sling in hand, stones in his pouch, and he walks into the valley. Goliath laughs. You come to me with a stick? David doesn't flinch. You come with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the Lord. And then David runs toward the giant, not away, not sideways, forward. He swings the sling. One stone leaves his hand, and the giant falls. And in that moment, the atmosphere changes. Fear breaks. Courage spreads. An army wakes up. Because courage is contagious. Now listen, your giant might not be a man in armor. It might be a habit, a fear, an addiction, a comfort zone, something that keeps repeating the same message until you agree with it. So here's your challenge. Name your giant. Drop the armor that isn't yours and throw one stone today, one action in the next 24 hours. Not when you feel ready, not when you feel confident. Today. Because giants don't fall when you feel motivated. They fall when you move. And if you want the next story, subscribe. We're building courage, discipline, and faith, one episode at a time.